I've watched my mom plenty of times. This is actually some of the glass that she used, that I found, oh, look at that, found in their shed. And I asked my dad if I could have it, so I'm gonna make something today. I don't know what. I think what I want to do is use this glass. I'm going to clean it up, but I'm going to cut some pieces out of it. And I'm not making stained glass. This is my mother's stained glass, and she was just absolutely brilliant at it. Made some beautiful pieces, a lamp, windows for friends. I don't know how to do like the whole stained glass thing, but I'm going to cut some pieces out of this and make a kind of a mosaic heart on this glass and attach it with resin. And just as a memorial, this is an old picture frame, very simple picture frame. I think that she and I thrifted this together. I'm not sure. It looks like something that we might have thrifted it together. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take these hangers off. I'm going to snip that. I can't find my wire cutters, but I'm just going to, these snips will work. Yeah, they were. All right. Off. Take this one off. All right. And I'm going to leave the back of this just like it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm a softie. But I am going to clean it with some alcohol. Just don't have my Windex, but I'm going to clean the back of it. All right, good enough for now. All right, I need to seal this back in. Good. Use UV resin. Okay. So I have my Light Wish UV resin and my UV resin curing light. That's the Let's resin. Came in that kit. There is a link and a description in the description below. So I'm just going to put a thin layer in the corners and then hit it with my resin light. What this is going to do is seal the glass back onto the frame. The UV resin light is a 60-second curing light. So I'm just going to leave it there for the full cure on each corner. You could also run a thin bead of that UV resin around the whole edge of the glass, because I am going to be using resin on the other side, but I'm only using a thin layer, so I'm not gonna waste the UV resin, and I'm just going to put it on the corners, and it actually works out fine. It holds the glass. Don't worry, the glass is not sharp. This is nice. That was a good idea. Woohoo. All right. I need a template. This is about 8.5 by 11. I'm gonna draw out a heart. Perfect. So I'm going to use this as my template to cut my glass and kind of figure out, you know, how I want to do this. I even have her old nippers. I guess these are nippers. This is a cutting wheel, and this is a where you break the glass. I don't know how to use it. I've watched some YouTube channels on it, but you know what? I'm winging it, and this is coming from the heart. So I guess it's obvious by now that I'm way out of my element with this. I've never done stained glass before. My mom used to do stained glass, I mean, a lot. She made some beautiful projects. I was a teenager when she worked on stained glass. And you know, when you're a teenager, you don't pay attention to your parents. Your parents are stupid, right? But even as an adult, when she worked on stained glass, by the time, you know, by the time that rolled around, I was not living at home. I had my own house, my own family, and I had other things to do. So I just, you know, never worked on stained glass with her. It was one of the things I just never did. And so I do not know what I'm doing. These are not tile nippers. This is definitely not a cutting wheel, guys. But, you know, I'm making it work. I'm not getting the shapes that I want. I am going to just study this a little bit more. But I'm just trying to just make something out of this glass for my dad to maybe help heal his broken heart after my mom's passing. I don't talk a lot about my personal life on my channel because, quite frankly, it's really not the place for it. But my mom did pass away shortly before Christmas of dementia, and I really miss her. But I wanted to do something special with her glass for me. It's great therapy, and I think it will just maybe, hopefully, bring some comfort to my dad. So you can see I kind of gave up on cutting any kind of decent shape out of this glass. I'm just winging it. Like I do a lot of things, I'm winging it. But this honestly is my favorite part of this whole project, is doing kind of a little mosaic design. Now, honestly, I've never done mosaic either, but I've laid a lot of brick and I've laid a lot of rock walls. And so this is kind of like that. You're just finding the pieces that fit in the space that you want. So maybe I ought to do some more mosaics. This is really kind of fun. What surprises me about the glass is that it's not sharp. Like the edges are not really sharp. And I know professional stained glass artists probably do use gloves or maybe some kind of hand protection. And I'm not gonna run my finger over the edge and find out how sharp it really is. But for this, it's really not that bad. The black and orange handled tools I bought on Amazon, I could put a link down below if you're interested, but honestly, I don't think these are for glass. These are more for tile, but I think I'm going to be able to find a use for them later on at Christmas when I'm cutting my bottles for Christmas trees and other little things that I make around Christmas time. Like I said, this was the most fun part of this whole project, is making something out of this broken glass. And I think my mom would be proud of me. Now, she'd probably be fussing at me the whole time about, you know, being careful and you're using those tools the wrong way, and no, you need to use that piece in this spot. But no, she probably would have liked doing this project with me. Honestly, she probably would have liked doing this. And even when she would come to my house, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of on a little memory lane right now, but she would occasionally come to my house, and they only live a couple of miles away from me, about 3 miles to be exact. And she would come to my house sometimes and just mess around with me in my art room. Dementia did leave her with a lot of anxiety. She didn't like being away from my dad. So when she was at my house, she never stayed very long in my craft room. But she did help me paint a couple of Christmas ornaments a couple of years ago. And they still hang on my dad's tree at Christmas time. So that's really special to have something that she made and that she enjoyed doing. But I really do think that she would enjoy making this project with me. To attach the glass to the glass, the crushed glass or the cut glass to the picture glass, I mixed up 40 milliliters of KSRESIN liquidy split. I'm just using my popsicle stick to just drizzle it all around and get as much as I can around the edges of those little red pieces. 40 milliliters was not enough. I quickly realized that, but that's okay. I can mix up some more. So I'm just using my popsicle stick to spread the resin around a little bit and filling in some of the gaps with little bitty pieces of glass that I had in my wooden bowl. So I did mix up another 40 milliliters in my cup, and I'm going to use that to just fill in any other gaps that I have on top of the glass pieces. The Crazy Glass Lady does a lot of these crushed glass projects, and she does put a thin bead of Elmer's glue around the back of the glass to attach the glass part of the picture frame to the wooden frame. I didn't do that, but I didn't get that much seepage between the glass and the frame at all. And the second layer of resin definitely did the trick. Using my heat gun just to pop any bubbles, and then using my popsicle stick just to even out those little stray pieces. And there it is, all finished. I think Mom would be proud. Well, if you've made it this far in my video, thanks for sticking around and letting me vent a little bit and letting me remember my mom a little bit. I appreciate it, my friends. See you next time. Happy crafting.